Alrighty, so today, let's see, I'm going to do something else right quick now already. Oopsie, advanced. Okay, so today what I was going to show you is this is the first card that we're going to make. So I'm just going to show you how to do the offsetty thing on this card. So you don't even have to have somebody's name here. You could put hope or peace or love or any word that you wanted to in here. And then just put the offset on there and then the letters. I'm going to remind you where to get the patterns for this because we found that really, ooh, what is that? Oh, I know what that is. That's from my other card, a piece of brown cardstock. Creepy. But anyway, this is, oh, and I'll show you where we get this because remember a couple weeks ago or so, I showed you a really nice website to get backgrounds if you wanted to print them. And somebody asked, well, how do you get all that ink to print all that stuff? Well, I usually just print small pieces. I don't print my whole card in that because I don't want to use that much ink, but it's fun to have enough of it to doctor these things up like this. So let's stop that. And here we are again. We'll go back to a screen share. Basic. All right. So here we are in Silhouette, and I think it was this one right here. Yeah. So you can see here where I have the sample of the one that I did. Here's the one that's Emma, happy birthday, and here's one that just has happy, and I didn't put anything inside of it. So in order to make a card like this, and I think they're really cute, the first thing, let's see, I have some notes here, so in case I get nervous. The first thing that you have to do is just to make your rectangle by coming over to the left-hand side and grabbing a rectangle and then come over here and drawing it out. And this is something else I even like better than Cricut. When we get the shapes over there in Cricut and it just automatically comes in and you have to go find it and you can't just make it the shape you want. So I'm not sure why that is like that. So I'm going to put it back on plain white for now. All right. So I'm going to create a rectangle for the base of my card, this white part back here. And usually our cards, at least the ones I make, are 5.5 inches tall. So I'm going to come up here and make the height with this unlocked 5.5 inches and hit enter. Really? Oh, I typed in 1.5. It's like that didn't look right. 5.5. Enter. Okay. And then I'm going to make it about 8 inches long or this way, wide, something like that. Okay, like that. That's good. All right. So we have our base of our card. Any font you like. There's a new font that I found that so now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you this new font that I found that I like to use. You can use any font you want. Maybe on your computer you have something called Freshman or Impact. A lot of people like that. But I found this one that I really liked, and I'll show you. And I probably have to share the screen again. It's called Aharonie Bold. And I just like how nice and bold the letters are. I like the way they are for the lowercase letters and the uppercase letters. I looked for this into font.com. I could not find it for free there, but I did find it at fontzone.net for free. So if you want to get this later, just jot down or take a screenshot of Aharonie Bold, and you can use that. Although, like I said, any font would work. Use Impact or anything else that you like. So I'm going to go ahead and just type in the word happy because so many of us are kind of down in the dumps and blue. And so lately I've just been doing happy on a lot of stuff. So I'm going to H and I'm going to do it all in capital letters. I have my cap lock on. A-P-P-Y. And believe it or not, those are caps in whatever font this is. I'm going to change this font, however. I'm going to come over here to the right-hand side and change it to that Aharonie font that I told you about. Remember now, if you download a font, you're going to have to install it. And before you'll see it, whether you're using Cricut Design Space or Silhouette software, you have to close out that software first and reopen it, and then you'll see the new font that you installed. So I'm going to find Aharonie. There it is. Okay. And the next thing, let's scroll in a little closer with the bug. Okay. The next thing I could do if I wanted to was adjust the sizing in between the letters. And I think before I do that, I'm going to make them so they're vertical instead of horizontal like that. And to do that, to easily do that, all you do is double click on this to get this bar back. And once you have the bar back, which means you're in text editing mode, you just push it over to the left and it makes those letters all get lined up like that. So now, of course, you can see that the letters aren't the way I'd like them to be. I want a lot more space in between them. So I'm going to change the line spacing. Okay, and you can either do it by sliding the slider, or you can do the percentage thingy over here. So that looks pretty good to me. The only other thing that I want to do in this case is to make these so they're aligned center. So I'm going to click on it to select it and come over here. Again, the text style panel is open. So I'm going to go to the align or justify center. Here we go, just like that. Okay, I'm going to scroll out just a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to put this on the side of the card. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld it up to the side of the card right here. So again, I think I will still scroll in some. So I'm going to click on the word happy and I'm going to drag it down. I don't want it to go exactly to the bottom or exactly to the top because I'm going to be adding an offset onto it. So, you know, just kind of eyeball it, just leave some space, a little bit at the bottom, a little bit at the top. And then you're going to have to start moving over your letters until they touch. So let's see, do we like that? I guess that's okay. The only thing is maybe I'd like the H to be over a little bit further, closer, or out further. So I could, if I wanted to, I could right click on this and say ungroup. And then that would allow me to use my arrow key and just move the H out a little bit more so more of it shows. And maybe the A a little bit too. But the P, I got to make sure it's touching. Let's see, make sure it's touching. I'll leave one that's not touching and you'll see why. All right, so now all I was going to do was grab all of this, right click and say weld. All right, so you can see that this is just one piece. It goes out around the H, goes out around the A, but here's a problem with the P because it wasn't touching the other thing, so it did not get welded to it. So if you see something like that, a little line in there, that's going to be cut off and that's going to just fall off of your card. So I'm going to do the undo button and I'll just move this back over so it is touching. And then I can grab everything and weld it again. Hey, I didn't put it close enough yet. Oops, one more time. Third time's the charm. So you know what I could do? As you can see, this thing is the pattern for some reason. What I could do though is just come up here to the little paint palette and click on that and then make it transparent so I can see through it better to see if it's going over to where I need it to be. You just nudge it over now, and now maybe you can see this. If I click off, you can see here's the line of the letter P, and this line is the card line. So I have it in a good spot. Probably be good if I lined these two P's up together. I think I'll do that. So if I wanted to, what I could do right now is click on this P, hold down my shift key, and click on this one, and come over to the alignment tool here, the transform panel, and say align to the left. Okay, I saw this one move ever so slightly, so they weren't lined up perfectly. So I think I like them better like that. So I'll scroll out now. Okay, and I might as well put him back to the regular color he was. Oh, come up here to the paint palette. And when he's selected, just move the transparency back to that. All right, so what I need to do now before I go ahead and add an offset to this is I probably can group all these back together again. I'm going to hold down my Alt key. Remember how the Alt key changes your cursor to a plus sign, which means you can duplicate it. I think I'll duplicate it twice just to have an extra. All right. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and grab all of this now and say weld. Okay, I don't see any issues anywhere. And now, because right now, let me ungroup this. The way this is if I brought this H over here after I cut it out, it would fit perfectly on top of that. But that's not exactly what I want. I want a little offset around it. So I'm going to click on this thing, the card, and just come over here to the offset panel and offset it. You can change your offset to whatever you like. That looks good to me. So I'll just leave it like that. Maybe I'll change its color since it's still selected to white. Then I can actually get rid of this piece right here. So now if I was bringing these over after I cut them out, they could just be glued right on top of here easily. So I think that turned out really cute. Now what I would do, whoopsie, let me get rid of this, move it over. You might like to put a score line on here. So now's when I would do that. Come over here to the left-hand side where there's the line tool and just start at the top anywhere. Hold down your shift key so you get a nice straight line. And click and draw a line down. Okay. Now I usually like to make my score lines green. So I'll make that line green. And I would also come up here and make it this dash line so I can see it easily. Okay, we don't really want it to fold right there. I do want it to fold exactly in the center. So all I have to do is grab these, the card base and the score line, and come up here to the top where there's the little bullseye thing. I don't want to center it to the page, which I oftentimes pick. That's the one that has the little page drawn around it. I just want to center the items I've selected. So I click on that. Just like that. So let's see if so now the other things that I did do, and I need to show you how to get the pattern, where the patterns are again, because I really like this site for getting patterns. And I want to show you something about this pattern that I got, because this one I'm using right here, I don't think I got from the site I'm going to show you. Maybe I did, but I'll show you something I don't like. Well, let me draw a box. Still coming in crazy. I don't get it. All right, let's see. Let me get rid of that for a sec. Oops. All right. Suppose I want to change that to that one I just did. I'll select it again and bring this in. Okay, for some reason it's not showing up right now, like things are misbehaving, because usually what you'll see, and if you look at my card, you'll be able to see it. There are lines in between this. If I change it, oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. You see that? You see those lines in between it? I don't like those lines to show up like that. So I'm going to show you some of the ones over there that should not happen to. As a matter of fact, it should not happen to this one. Okay, you really can't see any lines on that one. No matter how I scale it up or down, you really can't see them. Now on the B one you can, so it just depends on where I got these different ones. This one I think is from that site. Let's check it out when I scroll it up and down. Nope, I saw lines, I think. No, maybe not. Yep, there they are. A little bit. Oh, anyway. Okay, so let's go over here and I'll show you that site again. Be sure to mark this down or take a screenshot of it because it's really a good site to have. And let me share. Yeah. All right. So it's called wowpatterns.com. And these are all free and they're really, really cool. Different ones that you can make. And like people have asked me, how do you not use so much of your ink? Well, I just make little things and don't use all of my ink for it. So food and drinks, let's see what we have. Hot dogs. Chow, I think you guys were out eating a hot dog the other day and it made me hungry for a hot dog. Maybe not. I thought it was you though. Anyway, cupcakes. And they show you some samples of them using it for stuff. And I just think these are really cute little files. So if I was to want to use the cupcakes, all I would do is go to free download. And here are the rules. If you're going to use it in your video, you need to tell them that you got it from this. And I'll do that in my video. And as a matter of fact, this company even wrote to me and said, hey, thanks for using our video or our site in your video. Anyway, so I would copy this. And then here's my download down here in the lower left-hand corner. I have Windows 10. Depending on what you have, yours will look different. So I would just double click on that to open it. And you'd think I can just open this and use these as they are, but you cannot. You have to extract them. So I'll say extract all. I always leave my destination file or folder exactly what they do here. Just
it's not showing, it's still showing the site.
Oh, that's right. I got to have it to show my darn screen, and I don't know why it's not following me like it used to.
Yeah, it used to follow you.
Right. I don't know why. That's a bummer. Huh. Well, here's where I am now. So do you see the cupcake signs and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So then if you want to, when you're here, you can always go up here to view. If you want to see the actual picture of what this thing is, go to view and icons, extra large icons, small icons, whatever you like, large, medium. Sometimes I like extra large, and then I can see, oh yeah, that's the one I want. Unless, I mean, because I might have accidentally gone to another something that I had downloaded. These were, you see, can you see that picture of all your birdhouses listed there?
Yeah.
That's why I was putting the birdhouses up for you guys. But anyway, that's how you do that. So let me get back to this. So again, this is the website that I really, really like to use, wowpatterns.com. And it's free. Just, give them credit for it if you use it in something like online or something like that. Let's see what else they have. I think they have animals. But here's the thing. Let's see. Okay. Where does it say that there's, some of them say they're seamless. Repeat, yes. Let me double check.
See, it's at the top, Shyamalan, or how you say it, seamless vector pattern.
Oh, seamless. Yeah, chameleon.
Chameleon, yeah.
Yeah, seamless vector pattern. That's right. And since it's seamless, that means you're not going to have those little white lines that show up in between these. It's going to work together perfectly. And you can see that because here's the tail. And when the next square is butted up, that's the end of his tail right here. And when this square is butted up over here, you get the rest of his body. So that's a seamless one. I don't know if they're all seamless here, but just check it out. Seamless, seamless, seamless. So those are really cool to use. Look at this. I'm not sure how they do all that. I'm sure they have some kind of information on their website about how they do it. Anyway, all right, let's go back to silhouette. Okay, and get rid of this. Okay, so if I wanted to add this pattern to my patterns right here, what I usually do is just open up the other file, and I've shown this before in other videos, and just drag it into my library here. Drag it into the patterns folder that I'm looking at right over here. You can see some of the patterns I've dragged in. Okay. Hopefully you saw that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, thank you. All right, so let's go back to design. Okay, so the other thing that I did was this. I just made a rectangle for this one. And I'll just leave it that. Notice I made my shapes smaller or more condensed, more dense. So all you do for that is click on this and come over here to, well, ordinarily it opens like this. You'll click on advanced, and then you just go to scale. So you can scale it up or down. Now, if you're using Cricut, the only way you're going to be able to use these is if you save them as a JPEG, which would be as a print then cut, which is not a problem because that's what you'd need anyway. Don't try to save it as an SVG though, because it will just show up a black square. So you need to save it as a JPEG. All right, so I did that. And I made it a little bit smaller. Oopsie daisies. So I should, let me undo that a minute. Because what I should do before I mess around is go ahead and group all this stuff together. So they stay where they are. Bring this guy up. I made him a little bit smaller. Then I put a larger one behind that. So what I could do actually to make a larger one perfectly behind this is just to offset this one. So I can come over to the offset panel, or I could draw one, offset, make my offset maybe a little bit bigger. And if I want my offset to be a print and cut exactly the same color as this, I could come up here to the upper left-hand corner and get the eyedropper and click on that purple color, and it made my offset that exact color. Now, if I was doing this in Cricut, well, I guess I would. You could either have your printer print this and this, or if you want to, just do these together as one piece. Okay, just group this together as one piece and save that as a JPEG. So it doesn't cut two different things. What it would cut is this inner part. But if you look down here, let's see. Okay, if you look down here, you can see mine. I did do mine in two different pieces. So you can see right here. And actually, I think it would have been pretty if I pop dotted it up. But then I did do this with pop dots. I think it turned out cute. And I put a little ribbon on it to make it a little special. So, all right. So, share. Okay, so the other thing I did was this little thing right here. And again, it was a print and cut also. So just come over to our shapes. We have all these bazillion shapes we can use. I just grabbed this one, I think it was, just drew that little shape out. I'm so surprised that that's staying on that. Okay, so I drew this shape in here, and then I used the same font again. So I came over here and just typed in happy. What? Oopsie. Happy birthday. And that font's actually kind of cute right there. I don't even know what font that is. I can probably come over here and tell. I guess it's Farmhouse Country, but I'm going to go ahead and change it to the same thing that I used before. So I'll look up here in my recently used, and there's Aharonie. That's way too big and too close together. So I'm going to change my line spacing, make it further apart. And I'm going to make it a lot smaller so it's going to fit in there by just squishing it down like this. Okay, just like that. That's good. Or you can manipulate this as much as you'd like. If you'd like the letters to be a little bit further apart, character spacing. This is similar to what we do in Cricut Design Space. So I would just, I would just go ahead and grab all this and group it and leave that like that. And then the other thing I could do now is grab this one and put an offset on it like I did here of the same purpley color. So again, I would just come over to the offset it, whatever size you like, and change its color. And there's the purple that I last used. Okay. And if you don't want yours in two pieces, you could just cut them together as one piece like that. Put it on there. Of course, you could size it down. Okay, that's pretty much it for that one. Does anybody have any questions about this technique? Okay. Let me group this. Let's see what you guys are chatting about for a quick. Okay. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you is a little bit different. So let's see. I'll have you look down here again first so I can show. And I've done something like this before, but I really think it's pretty cool. All right. So what I used was the Zengo font, and that's from defont.com. And what I did was this. I Whoopsie, let me move this out of the way. I just made a card like this, as if it were a birthday card for somebody. And of course, it opens up just like this.
I love that.
Pardon me?
I love that.
Oh, thank you. I accidentally had it too far up to the top. That's of my mat. That's why it's a little flat on the top here. But this is the thing that Tammy was saying too, that you can do in vinyl or cardstock. You know, maybe a kid's number or something on them if they like anything. Okay, here's another one that I made just now this morning for Father's Day.
Oh, neat.
I took the extra little pieces that I had that just popped out and just put them on the inside. I should have paid attention where I was putting them though, because they show out right here, which I don't really, if I had my wits about me, I wouldn't have done that, but thought it turned out pretty cute too.
Oh yeah, that's neat.
So, well, the only thing, the dad one was really easy, and I'll show you how to do that because you just put it horizontally on top. The number 12, this one was a little bit harder for me because I thought I had done it right. This one is right. If you open it like this, it's the 12. Here's my prototype. Okay, can you see? It doesn't say 12. If I open, okay, if I turn it this way, you think, well, there, well, maybe that way. No, because what I have to do is I have to be able to open it here for it to work. If you can you tell what I'm talking about? It's goofy. It needed to open the other way, not like this. Because from your point of view, let's say I gave this to you, you just turned 12 years old. Does that look like the number 12? No, it's backwards. So you got to pay attention to that when you're doing it. All right, let's see. All right, so here's how we do that. Okay, here we go. What is this one? Hold on just a second. Let's see what this is. Nothing. That was a letter that I bought from Silhouette. I thought it was real pretty. Anyway, we're back to this one. All right, so for the number 12, the first thing that I did, and I think I probably used that Aharonie font again. So I came over here, got the text tool, just typed in the number 12. And I could stretch it out a little bit if I want to. Then I came over to the right-hand side and I changed the font to, I use Zengo, Zengo. It's from dafont.com. I love this font. Zengo, look at that. It's so pretty. So there we go. There's Zengo, or the font. The next thing that I did was, for Dad, I did it differently than what I did for the number 12. For the number 12, the first thing that I did was let's see, I wanted to make sure I have it the right size. Then I ungrouped them. And then, oops, I want to Control Z because I moved that accidentally. Going to click on this and just move it over. Keep moving it. Did I move it all the way over? I did. Keep moving it till it touches like that. So when we weld it, it's going to be connected here and here. So before I weld it though, I'm going to grab all of it, hold down my Alt key or right click and say duplicate. And I'm always afraid I'm going to make an error, so I always duplicate stuff twice. Don't have to do that though. Okay, so once this is done now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and weld it. And I didn't even need to do that. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to Object, Release the Compound Path. Okay, so that makes all of those different things in there, right? All the little pieces that can be cut out. Well, watch this. I can move this piece out. So if you remember my sample, I didn't have that piece in there. It was totally cut out. And I want this to cut out. So to cut this piece out, I'm going to click on it, hold down my Shift key, click on the other part of the number 12 to get the outside of it, and then come over to the Modify panel, way over here on the right, and just click Subtract. And there it is. It's gone. Okay. The other thing I want to do, though, is I want to make this one solid thing. Right now, it's a bunch of little pieces. Hey, I could just pull it out like that, but I don't usually do it like that. What I do is grab everything and just say object. Oh, no. Object, or at least the compound path. I'm going to stay where I was. And now all I have to do, well, I just messed it up. Let's go back to where I was. Okay. So I hope that didn't confuse you. What I just did was there was that little piece in here. I clicked on that, held down my shift key and clicked on the outer edge of the 12, and then came over to the modify panel and said subtract. And that's where we are right now. The other thing I would do right now is just grab all this, right click and say weld. Okay, this is where I went wrong on my sample one. So I probably shouldn't tell you where to go wrong. I'll tell you how to do it right. So we have this one right here. And what we need to do is take him like that, and we're going to click on him to highlight him, come over here to the replicate panel, and we're going to mirror one to the left. So like that. What I had done was mirrored it to the right. So you need to mirror it to the left. Now, when I weld these two together, because this is going to be the front of my card and this is the back of my card, can you see where I'm going to have a problem? Hopefully you can see that I'm not sure these are even touching at the top, and they're certainly not touching at the bottom. So I'm going to take one of these and just use my arrow key and butt it over there so it's touching. And then I'll just, oopsie, grab both of those and say weld. Okay, so then what you'll end up with is a piece that you can, did I? Wait a minute, let me see. Hold on. Yeah, a piece that you can fold in half. Now, I believe before I did that, what I did was go ahead and add a little bit of an offset to it, because if I don't, let's look and see. Oh, I got to bring this to the front. I'll make this a different color. And I don't like that blue. All right. So now I'll bring this to the front. I'll bring this up here. Now again, see, that's going to fit on there perfectly. And maybe you want yours like that, but that's not what I wanted mine to be. So what I did, let me change that one to black. So I just went ahead and added an offset to this card. So again, just come down here to the star, not that star, this star, offset. You can leave it like it is or make the offset whatever you like. I'll change its color to red. I can get rid of that middle one if I want to, or I can just weld all of this together. And there we go. And now, once I cut this first out of the red, I can fold it. It's easy to fold. I don't really need to have any kind of score line, but if you really want one, you can put one in, and then center it. And then these will fit with a nice, pretty red outline around them, what I think looks pretty. Bring it to the front. Love this font. If you guys don't have this font and you like that kind of swirly stuff, and ciao, I had a little trouble when I was picking mine out, and I kept thinking of you because all of those mandalas that you did, I just felt like fumble fingers when I was trying to get these out. And yours are so detailed and elaborate. But, okay, so that's how you do that one. And now Dad was a little bit different. All right, so Dad, all I did was the same font. So I came over here to the text tool and did Dad. Of course, you do mom, peace, love, hope, anything you like. But I just did Dad. So I'll do all caps again. And I'm going to change the font to Zengo. So it's in my recently used fonts, Zengo. Going to make it bigger. I think I made mine, I guess, like about 3 inches or 3.5, something like that. That's good. Okay, so there we have the first part done again. The next thing that I would do is I can do right now is just go ahead and copy these. So I'll hit the Alt key and drag one and then drag another one just so I have them. And move this down here. All right, now I'm going to put these closer together. So I'm going to change the character spacing. And it's a little too much, maybe. Oops. Okay, the A is not touching right now, so I do need to make sure that that does touch. So what I can do right now, if I want to, is just ungroup these, and then that allows me to work on each one of these. Now, I'm not going to be able to do anything with them as far as them being fonts anymore, but that's okay. That's good. All right, so it looks like they're all touching now fine. So what I can do is go to grab them all, and I can group them back, and then come to Object, release the compound path. Okay, I did this a little bit differently now. So on the back of mine, I wanted it to be totally solid. So what I think I'll do is I'm going to go to Alt, and I'm going to drag another one of those out. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, like I said, I didn't do a perfect job of weeding this thing, but I wanted to see how the back is pretty much totally solid, but the front has the openings. And you may not want that, because when you write your message in here, if you're writing to Dad or whomever, it will show if you're not careful about where you put it. I guess you could put a little light pencil line so you know where to put it, or just write on this part or the back.
Couldn't you add another solid white piece between
You sure could. Yeah. Or I don't even need to cut it out. You know, I don't even need to cut these parts out, but you could put vellum in there, or a solid white piece that you could cut that would be the same size, and just glue it in. Okay, stop.
I love that.
I do too. I love that font. All right, so here we are. So once again, we're like, how do you get rid of this middle part right here? I got to ungroup it, I guess. But this thing, how do I get rid of that stuff under there? Well, all you have to do is click on this. I probably should use my arrow key to get it back to exactly where it was. All right, so I got to ungroup it again. So I'm going to click on that little piece. Scroll in. Hold down my Shift key and click on the outer part. So I have the whole D selected and that piece. Then I just have to come over here to the Modify panel and say Subtract. And voila, it's gone. Okay, the A, same thing. This piece I want to get rid of. Hold down my Shift key, get this, subtract. Same thing with the D. Hold down the Shift, get that, and subtract. Okay, I can tell you something I did not like about this file, and something that I did differently was I went ahead and double clicked on this thing, and how did I didn't want this. No, it's okay. Never mind. I did it differently. Okay, so what I'm going to do now with this, scroll back out so you can see, is I'm just going to weld it. Right click and weld. Okay, and then I'm just going to add an offset to it. Come over here to the offset panel, add an offset. And I'll just leave it at that offset, just like that. And I'll turn it to the brownish color, because that's kind of like what I used. Not that dark, but okay. So, okay, we can just do it like this. I don't need to save that one. So, okay. So what you see is I have Dad here, right? And that's going to be the front of my card. I need to have the back part of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. I'm going to come over here to the replicate panel. And I'm going to say mirror above. So there it is. It's mirrored above perfectly. But like I said, I don't want holes all the way through mine for some reason. You might want holes all the way through. But if you don't, you can grab this and right click on it and go release compound path. and then just go ahead and weld it. So then you have a solid piece. Problem is you still have two pieces right here. So what I would do is grab both of these first, make sure that they're aligned perfectly. So come up here to the line tool and align them to the left. And then I would just with my arrow key gently butt this one down there like that. And now I can grab both of them, right click and weld. Now, did I save? Let's see. Yeah, I did. Okay, so this I need to right click and bring to the front. And I need to ungroup these. And hopefully these aren't these. Okay. So I'm going to make these white now so they'll show up good for us. So I'll just click on one. If you ever get all those nodes like that and you don't want them, you can come up here and just get the arrow key, or you can just hit the letter V as in Victor on your keyboard, and that gets that same thing selected. And you can just drag this over on here, just so you can see how it's going to look. Oh, I said I was going to change it to white. There's another one. Change it to white. Drag it on over. And the last one. Change it to white. Whoops. And that's it. So then you would just go, if you're using Silhouette, all you would do is, what I would do with this brown one, I would probably make its line color red. And maybe these, let's see what they are. I'd make them a different color. Because then what I would probably do is I would go up here to send and get him off. Okay, I do it by line color. So first of all, what I would cut is my big brown outline. Move these out of the way. And again, remember, if you're using the Cameo, you have to make sure you put this somewhere where you know it's you have your cardstock. And mine, I had a little bit too close to the top up here. I forgot to keep in mind this. If you're here and you come up here to the page setup panel, remember you could always put this show cut border on. And then you won't be tempted to do what I did and just get it up there really close and cut off the edge of your stuff, because you'll know you can see anything above that red border is going to be cut off. So again, send. So I would cut this, and when it's done, I always remove the stuff I'm done with to the right, get it off my mat. I do the green next. That's all the, whoopsie, the green, and it doesn't matter if they're in order or anything because they're going to cut out separately. And that's that. Okay. Now, I don't know, Chow, if you glued these things onto cardstock, like, hold on, like this one is, how it's glued onto cardstock. This stuff is really like little teeny weeny tiny lines. I don't know. What did you use to glue? What I found that worked for me, because I didn't have any really good glue, is this Zig marker thing. And the reason why is because, well, let's pretend like I want to put this little doodad onto something. Let's see if you can see. Not very well. Yeah, there you go. If I wanted to put this little guy onto something, of course, I'm not going to use my tape runner because that's a pain in the neck. I wouldn't really want to use Elmer's glue because I get too much. But this thing right here, this works really well because you just have to tap it like that. And you got enough glue on it and not too much glue on it. And it really works perfectly, at least for me. But maybe you have a better idea of what to use. Does anybody else, you ever done this? What have you used? A glue stick wouldn't be good because you have to scrape on it, and that would tear all these little fragile pieces.
Stephanie said she made hers with vinyl. She made a letter and card and other layers. I used vinyl.
Oh yeah, if you use vinyl, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're not using vinyl, this is the
Yeah,
best thing that I could find to use.
yeah, I like that marker. That's neat.
Yeah, they're expensive though. These guys are better. Vinyl would work better for what, child? Y'all can unmute yourselves, you know. You don't have to
Yeah.
just chat. Remember, you can talk. Hold down your space bar or just unmute yourself. But child, oh, the sticker maker. I used to have one of those. The Xyron, or how you pronounce that,
Yeah,
sticker makers.
big one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So Roxana, you did the same thing with the number 4. Did you use the Zengo? The Zengo font, or what font did you use? Or did you buy letters that were already made? Don't forget, you can unmute yourself.
There, I'm talking away, not realizing you can't hear me.
Oh,
No, I made a number 4 for a birthday card for my granddaughter. I kept welding it on the wrong side every time I go home.
uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did y'all hear her? Because she faded in and out. Say it again, Roxanne, because you were fading in and out.
Oh, well, when I made the number 4, instead of opening from the right to the left, when I welded it, it was opening backwards from the left to the right, and I couldn't figure it out at first. And then it's like, okay, I know what I did. I finally got it figured out and said, open them right. Crazy.
Right. That's like what I did for the number 12, and I kept thinking, well, it doesn't really matter. I should be able to just fold it and get it to work right. But no matter which way I folded it, it wouldn't work. I had to recut it.
Right. Yeah.
Weird. Anybody else made anything like this?
I did, but I used a small glue bottle with a metal tip.
Oh, that little metal tip is good. That helps. But this thing here, I liked it just because it got everything easily instead of me having to go with the metal tip.
I watched a
One of those.
video, in case you don't have that, where the girl takes and dumps her glue on, like, an old piece of cardstock. Those little face makeup sponges.
Right.
She puts it in there, and then she just wipes it on the back of the stuff.
Oh, that's a good idea.
What is that called again, Patty Ann?
It's expensive though. It's called two-way Zig glue. I mean, it lasts forever. I've had it probably 10 years.
And that Zig glue is good to put on your mat to make it sticky again too, isn't it? I think Linda
Well,
said that.
they put them on they put them on. I'm not sure about our Cricut or Cameo mats, but they do put them. There's a spider walking by me. Ooh, I didn't kill him. Dang. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, you can use it for scan and cut mats. I'm not sure about for our Cricuts or Cameos.
There he is on your arm.
No, you shut up.
I forgot I wasn't muted.
Oh, that was mean. Oh my gosh, Tammy.
We needed to laugh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was
That
hilarious.
was so mean.
Yes. All right. So anyway, let's see. What else can I show you? Anybody have any questions about anything or have anything else you'd like me to show you? Because we have a few more minutes left.
No, I got all these little sticky notes now down here. I've got it's like, okay, I need this font and I need that font.
Yeah.
Another little tip that I found, when you have something that has a lot of little pieces, when you're making cards and it's got all these little pieces, if you get that stuff, it's called stick and go, I think. It's like Glad Route, except it's sticky.
Oh, press and seal?
Press and seal.
Yeah. And you just put that on the, I couldn't think of what it was called, but you a whole box of it, but you put it on there and rub it down, and then it'll pick up all your stuff at one time, and then you just put it where you want it on your card.
Oh,
So you don't
that's cool.
have to worry about,
Excellent idea.
getting
Yeah.
those bitty things.
Good idea.
I think, what's her name? Jennifer McGuire. Her husband actually invented that. He works for, Procter and Gamble,
Huh.
and he actually invented that stuff.
Wow. Okay, let's see what else.
I like your A.
Isn't that pretty? That was a font that I purchased from the Silhouette store. I
Yeah,
love
that's
that.
pretty.
Yeah, it is. Well, I guess that's all I have for today. Trying to think if I have. This is something I was working on. I don't know if you guys would be interested in it or not. Let's see if I show you a new share. It was just taking that same butterfly that we've been using and cutting him in half, but you have to cut him in a certain way so that you can cut him out of the cardstock like, so he's like that, you know, our butterfly.
Oh,
So
I
you have
love
to
it.
put a line here and a line here. So he's closed so that he'll cut like this. It actually it's a little more involved than what you think when you just look at this right here. I thought he was sort of cute like that, you know, on the
Oh, yeah, it's real pretty. I love that.
I put him on the inside of a card. But
I want to know how to make them.
You want to know how to make him?
Yep. Maybe you do a video. I love that.
Does anybody else have any show and tell? No?
My house.
Oh, wait. I got to stop the share, too, so we can see each other. There. That's better. Oh,
Why is
wait.
Kyle screaming in the background?
Oh, is he? I don't hear him.
He's quiet right now.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Jody. How are you?
All good.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's kind of everybody's kind of
Yeah. Well, we've been getting out again, so I feel much better.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful, Chow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's really
look,
pretty.
the seahorse.
You know the letter that you did as well?
Yeah.
That one.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I-
yeah.
I ended up doing it just with, I tried to do it all with card and I couldn't. My blade, it just made it jagged, you know, the top layer. So
Right.
that's why I ended up using vinyl.
That turned out really pretty.
It
That's very-
didn't work for mine. It didn't work. The bottom layer is card, but the next 3 layers I layered
Wow.
vinyl on the top.
Huh.
And I got a ton of vinyl that I never use.
Yeah,
And you were using the Cricut? Was it?
yeah. It was just the card. I think probably most of my cardstock's quite thick.
Oh, yeah.
And when it was really fine like that, it was struggling. And when I did it, I thought, that looks horrible. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll use the base one for the card. And I thought, I'll try it with vinyl.
No, the other thing that it might be, look how big mine is. Yours is a
Yes.
lot smaller, so you
Yeah.
ended up with a lot smaller piece.
Yeah, it's only, I think it's about 2.5, 3 inches. That's all. So
Right. Did
yeah,
you get
I
rid of a
left it.
lot of the stuff? Did you also delete out a lot of the things?
I did delete, but I wanted to keep quite a lot of the detail because it was one of the
Right.
cards for kids.
That's adorable, though. I love it.
Yeah.
Really
and
cute.
I thought, right, I'm going to try it with vinyl, and
Right.
it was a lot better. And I never thought, yeah, because it's a lot smaller.
Right. I think that's the secret or the trick. So was it hard to line up the vinyls together?
No, what I did, I got the backing and I only lined it, keeping the backing on good 3/4, probably only a little bit, so that if it wasn't lined up properly, I wasn't taking much of it.
Right.
Just putting the backing on it so there was only a little bit of the vinyl at the top. No, and it went on smashing.
Okay, cool.
I did try it first by holding it, taking
Uh-huh.
all the backing off, and it grips hold of it, doesn't it? And I thought,
Right.
so by holding the backing on, it let me line it up properly.
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
Karma before she said she used a iron for the cars too, so it would be easy if you don't.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah, because it wouldn't stick, would it, till you'd heated it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know Rebecca done some note cards for a lady, or maybe no, cupcake toppers, and she put the heat transfer on there.
Mhm.
She used iron-on,
Cool.
you know, the design.
Yeah. So Jody, you been working on anything?
Not much. Mine has been those boxes I was telling Tammy about. My daughter's husband is in the military and she gets the boxes from the post office, and then we've been decorating the flaps kind of. He's into Star Wars, so when he opens up he gets Star Wars stuff, and then
Oh.
There's been
Cool.
protesting, so T-shirts and signs for her. So
Right. Okay. Yeah.
just usually just work. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Are you getting out and about? No, you guys are
You
still.
see, from here
Oh,
to
see,
here.
I got mine done. It looks, this lighting, my lighting makes me all look orangey like, but it's not orange.
I'm going this week coming up somewhere.
Are you?
Dude, it's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Our
I'm getting
hairdressers,
Short haircut.
ours are all still closed yet. They're not allowed to open, so I keep getting the scissors and chopping bits.
Need a haircut. Look at how long my hair is.
Wow.
Look
Oh
how
my
long
gosh.
Chow's.
Wait, that's long hair.
Mine is
It's
usually
falling. I'm getting
here.
bald.
Oh.
No,
What'd you say,
We-
Jody?
just that mine is usually like right here, and now it's all like
Right.
Yeah, mine, the way they cut it last time, I loved it. But when it grows out, it ain't so lovely no more. It just comes right around my neck and drives me crazy. I can't wait to get it off.
You just
Okay, well, I guess that's about it, unless anybody else has any questions about anything or any other show and tell or anything.
oh, when we were trying to get your YouTube to 30,000, and of course,
Yeah, I got it.
I'm an idiot. I sent a couple friends out there, and I didn't tell them YouTube. I sent them the thing for Facebook. It's like, duh.
Oh,
Right?
well, thanks for trying.
They did.
It's just a bucket list thing. I mean, you don't get anything special. Nothing happens. It's just like, okay. Speaking of which, who wants to make a plan? What should we do? I need somebody to push me to make some more cards for kids. Is there a goal? Anybody can come up with a goal of how, like, make 10 by the 4th of July or something. Make 4 by the 4th. Of course, that's not your. Yeah, right. Of course, Stephanie doesn't do the 4th of July.
no. I keep doing cards. So when I do one, I've just done an anniversary card for a friend's anniversary. I thought, right, I've done one of those, so I've got to do one for cards for kids. Every time I do one for the family, I make sure I do another one for the
That's
children
sweet.
as well.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
We
They had a
did
really
have
cute.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I saw a really cute video that they put up the other day with some little boy that got his card. He was so excited. I don't know what card. He was just like beside himself over this card he got. It was cute.
Oh. And yours was shown this time as well, Chow?
Hmm?
Yours was shown on, was it the Instagram page, wasn't it? Yeah.
I was on Facebook page, but they said individual artists. I don't know why they didn't put it in our group.
Right.
Yeah, I tried to mention it to him, but I think it went some way different. I think somebody else runs the Facebook group versus who runs the other part. I'm just
Right.
hoping they applying all those numbers so we move up, because we should have quite a few turned in by now that we should be up a
Yeah.
level. Don't you think?
I don't know.
What's the next level after the one we're at?
I don't even know which one we're at. I don't remember. Is it gold or?
I think we've got to do, have we to do 500?
Yeah,
Got to be over 500, I think, to get to the next level, I think.
Yeah. what I
I
thought.
think I sent about 150 since we
Oh
stopped
my-
the quarantine
That's-
already.
Chow, that is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, child, that's amazing.
Thank you.
And they're so
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, they are gorgeous.
And also different as well, which is great.
Right.
I think
I'll
I'll
say, "Oh, mommy love make card for me." I said, "Sorry, Kyle, that's not for you."
Sorry.
Oh.
Is he still with Dad right now?
He's on the bed playing his tablet.
Oh, okay. The way he plays it with his feet, holding
Yeah,
it.
up in the air.
Right. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
designing for you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna do something. What are y'all gonna do today? Anything exciting? I'm gonna find something to do.
We're thinking about getting all wild and crazy. We've not been out to dinner or anything, and there's this place we like to go, and it's like, okay, if we go between lunch and dinner and sit on the patio in the corner, maybe we could be wild and crazy and dangerous.
We've been out a lot. You know, do you have an Outback near you? If you
Yeah.
have an Outback near you, they are really, on the spot, taking care of everything. Everybody wearing masks, everybody wearing gloves. They have to change them every so often. every time they do something, they have to wash their hands every 30 minutes. They have to scrub down the tables first with a disinfectant and then with peroxide or something and let it sit for 2 minutes. I mean, they're really on the ball. Another restaurant we went to, they didn't even wipe the table off in between customers. Like, so, if, you know, when you're supposed to be really clean, if that's how they're being when you're supposed to be really clean, you can imagine what they're really like.
You don't want to see. I don't want to number.
We won't be going back there probably.
No, we still stay home. We just order takeout, bring home. We'll still only go out for grocery. But my brother started working Monday.
Oh, okay. Out of the house or back to work? Or
Yeah, he worked in the casino where I used to work. So he's going back there. They put by masks. He even had to went to an online training class to keep the social distance in the casino.
Wow.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
Right.
The other day, the other casino opened. I think people drove 2-3 hours to wait in line, 2-3 hours to go inside, and then wait another 2-3 hours to gamble. I said, really?
Oh my goodness.
There, that's lovely.
That's addiction.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
8 hours just to gamble their money away. It's just like, wow.
Right.
I used to tell them, if I put my money in a machine, I at least want a pack of nabs. You're going to give me something.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to head on out of here. Thanks all for coming. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, this video will be posted probably tomorrow morning. So, good night, Stephanie.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
I missed the live yesterday because it was 10:30 at night.
I know. Oh, well, that was the craziest time to put a live, but I just finished the thing and I thought I'm going to just put it up there and, you know, because that was kind of a crazy time. Ciao, I think, weren't you guys out eating hot dogs?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. You made me hungry for a hot dog. I saw that hot dog. I was like, oh, hot dog. So, all right. See y'all later.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Bye.